guys? So I just wanted to give kind of a rundown of the Sacral Chakra. So congratulations for continuing this journey and being on week 3, so 1/15/2022. Can you believe it? So we just finished up the root chakra and some of the activities for that, which it's the basis of our survival, vitality, stability, and our security. So hopefully we feel a little more grounded or kind of get an idea of like what makes us feel grounded and safe and secure, and dig a little deeper, right? So moving on to the Sacral Chakra, which I had this book so I could show you a picture of what the Sacral Chakra looks like. I did have it open, but then I closed it 2 seconds ago. So the Sacral Chakra, I have one in it as well, but look how pretty that is. And it's the representation of the 6-petal lotus. And it's super pretty. So the Sacral Chakra is also represented by orange. And orange is going to be a hard thing for me because I don't have much orange. So I'm going to try to incorporate that in the next 2 weeks. Just incorporating orange foods, orange clothing, orange, all of that to kind of embrace and get that orange frequency going for our Sacral Chakra. So our Sacral Chakra is our emotions, our relationships, passions, and pleasures. The things that emotionally give us that joy and what is sacred to us. It's our creative spark, what gets things going. So this chakra is considered to be the creative and the sexual energy centers of the body, which is linked to intimacy and connection, including sex, fertility, and reproduction. So it has a lot to play in the root chakra. So the lower 3 chakras in the body all go hand in hand with that intimacy and that connection and that bond. So you can think of the Sacral Chakra as the spark that ignites all of our inner fires. The impulse behind the desire that connects you to the pleasures, your desires, and your creations. Whether it be music, painting, running around in a circle, dancing, anything that gives you that creative fire, right? So the key concepts of the Sacral Chakra, again, are our pleasures, our creativity, sexuality, needs, and emotions, our passions and inspirations. So the Sanskrit name for the Sacral Chakra, which mind my pronouncing of it, so is Savahashnan. Mind you, I'm not, let me see, this may actually, Savahana, which the first half of the word means to sweeten, and the second half of the word means one's own. So it's like to sweeten our creativity, to sweeten whatever it is that we desire so that we can get it into perspective so that we are able to create it. The connection, sorry, I skipped over a line. So the second Sacral Chakra is located just below the belly button, just above the root, the lower spine. So just below the belly button. And like I said, it is associated with orange, the color orange. And it spins counterclockwise. So the root chakra is clockwise and the Sacral Chakra is counterclockwise. And for it to be fully active, the colors have to be bright and orange. So whenever you meditate or do any of them, you want to make sure that you're trying to envision the color orange for that spot. It's our connection to the emotional self. So I feel. So it's our, how things make you feel too, with your creativity and creations and the pleasures and the sexuality and your needs and emotions and passions, because all of that makes you feel something. So like your emotions are part of all of that. And like I said, it's represented by the lotus of the six petals. The mantra is I feel. Sanskrit is Vam. So, and the vowel sound is O, like two. Ooh. So kind of like that noise. It is a yin energy. It's a feminine energy. The note for music for the sacral chakra that allows it to kind of get in tune and get things moving is the note D, which is 417 hertz. And the element of the sacral chakra, and it's super important that we get enough of it, which I think a lot of us don't, but it's water. You know, water allows things to move better through your body, emotions through your body, everything just in general. We need water. So our sacral chakra is also correlated with our sense of taste and how things are taste to us, which is kind of crazy, right? But that kind of goes into the same respect of like your feelings. Like if you're feeling scared or sad or whatever, things just taste differently, right? Because we tend to sometimes cover emotions by eating certain things. So like things might just taste better for us when we're going through like a stage of like high stress. So we end up like stress eating or emotional eating. So I mean, I think that kind of has a play in it too, but it's also our sense of like fear, like this COVID per se, like it is a lot of fear-based, right? And when you get COVID, you lose your sense of taste. So it's in playing in that fear, that emotion fear that gets stuck in your body, because a virus is an environmental stressor. And it's something that the outside world tries to deem the news. It's just all about the bad, the negative, the fear-based, trying to get you to like follow what everybody else is doing. So I mean, I feel like with that being said, and you lose your taste with COVID, it has to play in a lot of that fear-based emotion that kind of gets in our stomach, like, oh my God, we're going to go out, we come in contact with COVID or whatever. So it kind of plays a big role in our taste. Which is kind of crazy and a whole nother subject. But, so I mean, like in that sense, for an environmental stressor, if we are thrown off by this like environmental virus, everything else is going to kind of be thrown off too. The best days, they say, to work on the sacral chakra is Fridays and Mondays. It all depends on where you look. I got that from a couple of different places. And it's our base of facilitating change for ourselves, facilitating that creative spark, facilitating something that means something to us, something that makes us feel good. You know, we kind of want to try to understand the things that make us not feel so good so that we can value it when it happens, but then also be able to value it when we are in a really good place, because we don't know when we're in a great place if we haven't experienced all of the things in between. So we need to be thankful for all of those experiences to be able to facilitate change, because if we don't pay attention to what wasn't working and we keep on knocking on that same door, then we're just going to fall into this vicious circle, right? So if we start being aware of that, we can facilitate that change for ourselves and be like, okay, wow, I guess I didn't realize I was knocking on this same door 50 million times, but now it's just like, oh, okay, I realize that now let's try this door, because when there's one door that closes or that's been like a standstill, I promise you there is like 5 others ready for you to open. You just have to take that opportunity. It is okay to feel nervous, and it is okay to feel anxious about starting something new. Those emotions are normal. It is okay to feel those things. We are made to feel like it is not okay to feel those things and that we should push them down, but it is okay. That's what helps us facilitate change and helps us be grounded, and it kind of plays into the root chakra. So I mean, the aura layer of this is our emotional body. like all of our emotions and where we stand with them. The spirit guides for the sacral chakra that I have found a few is Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Chamuel, which is all about love, giving that love and receiving that love. Lord Serpis Bay, which I haven't really dealt with. Hermes, Basket, which Basket is like an Egyptian aspect. Ishtar and Rahi. So, I mean, you can look in the notes and kind of look those up and kind of see if any of them click to you. So, when the sacral chakra is balanced and is functioning in a healthy manner and is aligned, you have an immense amount of pleasure in your lives. It allows you to see the beauty in the people and things around us. We find pleasures in our own creative abilities and passions. We don't deny ourselves or overindulge in pleasures that may be detrimental to our health. We are able to express our sexuality and are able to express our creativity in our work and play. And I mean, work is important, but I feel like we have to really stress in our play and what we do after work or what we do after all of the craziness and the chaoticness of whatever. Do we just sit down and like think about it and be like, oh my God, that today was so crazy, I can't believe it happened? Do we constantly repeat this to ourselves? Or do we repeat it, acknowledge it, and be like, okay, the day is done, now I can move forward and let's find something that's fun. End your day with something fun. End your day with something meaningful. Even if it's just saying, what meant most to me today? What was the best part of today? And start incorporating that into your journals. Like at the end of the day, like what was the best thing about today? Or what did you learn that was new today? Right? Because it's all about our creativities and like our passions and learning something new to add to our passion. So that we don't get stale in that repetitive circle. You are friendly, passionate, sexually fulfilled, in a good mood, playful, naturally flirty, just overall happy. You feel like you can walk on water, right? When it's all balanced and healthy and moving in alignment. So on the complete opposite end of that, when the sacral chakra is blocked or underactive, you may experience a sense of lack of control. You have a uncertainty and the inability to cope with life's changes. When it is blocked, you often feel detached from your emotions and of those around you. Like you don't know why you're feeling a way, but like you're feeling it, but you don't really feel like you're feeling it, but you just kind of close yourself into like a little hermit, little like, your own little space, and you're just like, I don't really feel like myself, but I really don't feel like I'm not myself, and I don't really know what I'm feeling. Like you're just detached, you get isolated, but isolation isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes you need to isolate yourself to be able to be happy and not have those anxieties and be around all people's emotions and stuff. So like isolation can be a bad thing, but isolation can also be a good thing. So like anxiety, loneliness, low sex drive, lack of creative inspiration, and in quotes I have a closed sacral chakra can make you feel detached from your own emotions as well as the emotions of people around you, which it was kind of repetitive from the time. You may feel isolated and anxious to be alone and lonely, but it's a vicious cycle, because it can cause even more loneliness and more anxiety because you're overthinking about it, right? That's why journaling about whatever you're overthinking about is nice, because it's on paper. You get it out, and then that's it. It's out. It's on paper. You don't have to think about it again because it's not something that you're going to forget. Write it down. If it's something that you're going to forget, write it down. Then you don't have to worry about forgetting it or worry about not remembering your thoughts. Just write it down. And then it's out of your body and out of your mind. When the chakra is blocked, its energy becomes stagnant, and your ability to access the gifts associated with the sacral become more difficult. Its shadow aspects are also active and dormant in your everyday life. So like I said, it kind of goes on with the root chakra and our groundedness, and that ability to dig deep to bring back those childlike joys to the present, so that we don't become stale and stagnant and resentful of what we have in our current life. Constantly expand on that. When the sacral chakra is overactive, you are feeling so consumed by your emotions, as if you're drowning in them, experiencing emotional ups and downs, using escapism to avoid life. Like, you're supposed to be doing this, but you are so overwhelmed that it causes this situation to happen. So that, even though you're distracted for a second from this situation, you're causing another situation that is nothing but pure emotions of stressors, things that don't make you feel good, all because this other situation isn't making you feel good. So you feel like you have to escape from dealing with this emotion, so we create another situation that we can't really handle or manage either, because we're so scattered over this situation, that we're just like, okay, now I have this situation, now I'm gonna have to deal with this, now I've got this situation. So it's like you're constantly adding things to your life to avoid dealing with certain things. Showing obsessive affection that isn't returned, or engaging in inappropriate expression of sexuality. Sometimes we are wanting the attention of others, or wanting all of this security, and wanting all of these creative things that sometimes we don't cope in what some say would be a healthy way, so that we try to do things that cause us to get that attention, whether it's negative, positive, or indifferent. We may become overly focused on satisfying our desires, or unaware or unwilling to acknowledge that it is not always necessary or healthy to have all our desires met. There are reasons that doors close. There are reasons things end. There are reasons why, things happen. Sometimes it's our own actions, but a lot of the time it is the universe telling you, hey, I've been trying to tell you or show you and guide you in ways that you might not be open or receptive to, because you're in your own little head. So when things don't always go, when you become obsessive with having things go absolutely right, we lack the fun of that situation, because we're stressing about making sure everything is going right, or that only our needs are met. But it takes a little bit of a village for that, if that makes sense. We have bursts of untamed emotions. The example that I have here is when you're driving along and someone's turning, but they didn't lose their blinker light, and that shouldn't bother you, but you say, use your damn blinker light already, why are you slowing down? You're not turning. But then they end up turning and they didn't signal. That is a little frustrating. What really frustrates me is when people turn in the wrong lane. If there's two lanes and one's turning this way, one's turning this way, and this one turns in the far lane. No, you're supposed to turn in the closest lane to you. Stuff like that. And if you're just in shambles and running late for work and and all of these things that are obstacles that are in the way of you controlling whether or not you arrive to work on time, can cause us to be a little unstable with things, right? So we might have our outburst of road rage, but ultimately coming to work on time was our own responsibility. Maybe we just procrastinated leaving the house, but then we have 10 million cars in front of us, right? That's out of our control. But we could have controlled it a little better if we left when we were supposed to. You know, we got to ultimately take responsibility for our own actions. And like when we're trying to rush through life or whatever, it's nobody else's fault. It's your own internal stuff that's going on, right? Like if you didn't leave on time to make to work, it's nobody else's fault that is driving slow, that's not using their blinker light, it's not their fault. It's just the way that you're responding to it, because you're stuck in your, oh my God, I'm going to be late for work. Like, come on, hurry. Because you're stuck in your own emotion, and you're allowing your emotion to take over your meat cart. And, you know, I think that the point of all of this is to try to separate our emotions from our meat cart. So our emotion has its own body, and our meat cart is its own body. But we never want to give that emotion control of our body, if that makes sense. If you have healthy, unhealthy, hey, stop it. Sorry, my dog just wants to be a part of it. If you have unhealthy relationships, like if you're constantly looking at your phone, or if your significant other is constantly looking at their phone, and you like feel the need to have to be like, oh my God, why do you keep on looking at your phone? Who are you talking to? That's just part of like the insecurity and the being consumed by your emotion of what if that person's talking to somebody else, or what if this, like, and it's just you're being consumed by your emotions. But then you're also not secure, which brings us back to our root chakra, secure in who we are and our being and knowing our value. So, I mean, it plays with our sacral chakra because it's the way that we're being made to feel, because we're already not feeling safe and secure, which leads to the root chakra, right? And it's our need for like the power and manipulation, and like I said, our like cravings. You know, emotional eating is a thing. I mean, I've done it. I like ice cream when I'm like, you know, I like ice cream. So I mean, it is what it is. But if we start becoming conscious of the things and how we respond to them, maybe we can have that power to make that change for ourselves, to realize, right? You know, it's better for us, for me anyway, for us to like self-check ourselves, to be like, girl, what are you doing? Rather than having like somebody that's, you know. But then again, that goes to play with myself of not wanting to feel embarrassed about the way that I'm feeling for other people, right? So like, I like the fact that I can call myself out on my own junk, right? But a lot of us don't like self-reflection because we're humans, so we don't like to be told maybe we aren't being so hot and friendly, right? It's just part of life. So the sacral chakra governs our physical body. And like I said, it is just below the belly button. Can't really see, just below the belly button. Which actually this little book has a pretty good description. So the root chakra and the sacral chakra. Which this cover makes it look like it's yellow, but it's just the way that it's a pretty book, right? So it governs our sexual organs, our liver, bladder, kidneys, lymphatic and circulatory system, our hormones, upper intestines, and our spleen. If imbalanced, you can experience sexual dysfunction, low sexual want, sexual addictions to substances, drugs, alcohol, food, really. Pelvic pain, hormonal issues, fertility changes, urinary issues, sciatica and lower back pain, guilt, emotional imbalances, mood disorders, lack of fulfillment and joy, boredom, and dissatisfaction. So, I mean, that's just to name a few. Yes, obviously some of these are a physical environment stressor. So, like, say if you fall and you hurt yourself, that sciatica pain and that thing is different than what the emotion sciatica pain can cause, but it can still cause that feeling, that sciatica feeling of like when you sit down, if you sit too long and you're just like frustrated by the day, all of your emotions get stuck here. And so you just don't really feel good, right? I'm going to go down to here. I just wanted to see the little chart that's down at the bottom. So when the sacral chakra opens or starts to align, when you start to like work on it and start getting that energy flowing, you may feel a warm tingling or vibration in your lower abdomen, just below the belly button, as the energy starts to flow. You may take more pleasures in everyday activities and are inclined to participate in hobbies and other pleasures that you may have put off before. Excuse me, sir. I have a video. Zeus. Sorry. Zeus. So you take more pleasures in everyday activities and are inclined to participate in hobbies and other pleasures. Stuff that you kind of shut down before that you know, like, yeah, you loved painting and yeah, you loved drawing, but how could I possibly incorporate 5 minutes of that in my everyday life? But then, you know, when it starts to open, you're going to find that 5 minutes. You're going to, like, at the end of the day, or when you're just sitting there, you're going to start doodling or, you know, bring back the things that you enjoyed as a kid, right? And even as an adult, but maybe we just don't have time. You may have a creative awakening, meaning like ideas and things might just come to you and you're like, oh, awesome, that's a great idea. It's kind of like how this journal workshop happened, actually. You know, just because I was learning about them, and I just wanted to be able to give that back to people because it's so cool and fun, and being able to talk and meet new people. I thought that was a lot of fun. So at first, with any of the chakras, you may also experience a healing crisis of some sort. So during the integration and alignment of the sacral energies, you may go through some emotional purge of sorts. Like, it's not unknown to have, so emotions and things that we thought we dealt with will resurface. But that's just part of the process, right? Ailments and things that you thought you had healed before that may, you know, medicine or whatever, however you healed it before, will resurface. They will come back because you're removing that energy. You know, that energy has to go somewhere, right? So now it's moving and it's coming up to the surface. So these things are going to come out again. So emotions or ailments or things that we thought like I said, like we thought we dealt with are going to resurface. And that's just part of the process. And that's okay because we're releasing them. When we release them, it's going to bring this pure reset. And like emotionally, and you become more balanced and joyful. You just have to be patient with yourself with the process because it does take time. I mean, this is all stuff that we can just continue to use in our everyday life. Even when the 13 weeks are over, meditation and all these things that we've learned with the root chakra. We're going to be doing that with all of them. So I think that is super important to be patient with yourself through this process, because if you feel like you're not gaining anything, it's only because it's part of the journey. Because it's like any chakra or any energy that you're working with, it's going to feel like taking 2 steps forward and then 3 back. Because your body is resetting itself. It's releasing these things. It's allowing you to acknowledge them so you can release them. So it's normal. So just be patient with yourself, because you've got this. You hold the key. You are your creator. You make your fire. You're your match. You know, all of those cliche sayings. Just be patient with yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve to be able to heal yourself, and you deserve to have you time. So that is kind of like my little spiel for the sacral chakra. I'll be posted it on the site, and I'll be posting the weekly journal questions as well, which this week is the week 3 journal prompts. So again, it's going to be our top memory, our tops. So it's our memories from our past childhood again. which kind of digs us a little deep. So like it'll be questions of like your top 5 bands, things that you can remember, or maybe you don't remember. So mostly your tops. And I've added some more actually questions to the third week for the sacral chakra, because I found some really good ones that weren't in there before. So I added a few. So yeah, so I'll post that. Post this little video, post the sacral chakra PDF, week PDF, and yeah. So there you have it. If you have any questions, or you just want to talk or whatever, I am here. Reach out to me anytime. So you guys have a great day, great Saturday, a great weekend, and we'll be in touch. Bye.